He died. And I was like, yeah, he died. He died on a hunting trip. His name's Dan Cerullo. He died on a hunting trip with his son. He had a heart attack. Oh, come on. What age?
Alexa, volume 4.
He was probably mid to late 50s if I had to guess. But I mean, I'm happy for him. Look, if that's how I go on a hunting trip with my son, who's raised and doing great,
I agree.
then
As someone who's 57, though, I'm opposed to the time war.
me too.
Right, yeah.
But so all these things happen, and then and we go to we're in Sedona, and I have a breakdown on the plane. I don't really break down other than lately, and my wife's like, "What the hell is going on with you?" And I start telling her, and then the last day, I was like, all right, I'm just going to come off my phone for the week and maybe I'll feel better. I felt a little bit better. And then I got on my phone and I saw this country music star that I had a lot of respect for at the time. And she's going on about how drag queens should be able to, like, shake their ass in front of toddlers. And I was like, man. A couple weeks later, she gets a big show. And anyways, but I see this stuff and I'm like, fuck, man. And so I smoke a joint and tell Katie, we're going on a hike. We're gonna go up to this energy vortex. I want to see if I feel something. And joint didn't help. And we get up there, and dude, I went like bananas. Like this is one thing about the psychedelic stuff that I didn't really like where it took me. I was looking for all these other fucking things. I was into like looking at crystals and all this shit. And energy comes out of the crystals, whatever. And we go up to this fucking vortex, and then I'm like, I don't feel shit. and so we're marching back down, hiking back down, and I'm having like this internal battle in my head. And like I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be worried about dismembering kids and politicians and schools and athletes and celebrities, like pushing, you should be the opposite sex and let's put some hormones in you. Let's get you in the hospital. And I'm like, maybe I'm the fucked up one. Nobody else seems to give a shit. Maybe I'm the one maybe it's me. Maybe why are you fighting this shit? And I just it felt like I was like surrendering my soul or my heart to the devil, maybe. But there was like this internal battle going on, and I was literally trying to convince myself that I was I'm feeling all this pain because, this is when the MAPS thing started coming out, the minor attracted person. Yeah. Can't call him pedophile, gotta call him a minor attracted person, because that's offensive, Tucker. And so I'm like trying to convince myself, like, Sean, maybe this is old school thinking. Maybe you shouldn't be so upset about all this thing.
You're the crazy one.
Yeah. And it's dark, and we're staying at a really nice resort down there, and there's a guarded gate, and I pay attention to that shit because my background, SEAL and contracted for CIA, and so I pay attention to that kind of shit. And those guys, that demographic of people love my show, because of all the military guys I've had on it. So they all know me, and I stop and talk to them all. We've been there for a week, and and this old man comes out of the guard shack, and he's like trying to talk to me. And I'm looking at him over my shoulder, like giving the body language, like, not now, buddy. I don't give a shit what you have to say. I just want to go to my fucking room. And then my wife stops and talks to him. And I'm like, oh shit. So I turn around and I square up to him. And he looked at me. And he read my mind from front to back. He he said, all this shit that's going on with the kids. So that's not your fight. And then he kept talking, and I was like really worried about China, and that was when the spy balloon traversed over the U.S. And he brought up something about China, and I like lost it. I was like, how the fuck are you in my head? Like, how are you in my head? And so I totally blanked out on the rest of what he said, but I knew it was in. I'm like, wow. He said like 2 or 3 more things, and then have a good night, and walked back into his guard shack. And I'd never seen this dude. I thought I'd met all the people that worked there, because we're in and out. And we're going back to we were staying in like this bungalow thing, like a duplex. And there was this guy, my best friend, died of heroin, but he was always known as a protector. His name was Gabe. He was just a badass. He was a pro hockey player before he joined the SEAL teams. He was an enforcer, and then he joined the SEAL teams, and like he's the guy, like if you're in trouble, Gabe's gonna come whip some ass, get you out of it. And then we contract, and then I met him contracting for the agency, and we became really good friends, and he had the same reputation there. And when we first got there, we had seen this guy, and he looked identical, like same. He could have been a twin, like you could tell them apart, but he could have been an identical twin to Gabe. And I'm in this super vulnerable state, and this guy's like everywhere we're at this week. And I pointed him out, and Katie was like, "Yeah, looks identical to him. If we're out in town at a restaurant, this dude's out there. If we're on a hike, he's like right behind us or coming back. If we go to the pool, he's at the pool." And it was just weird. It's like this guy's like always around.
Yeah, it's not
going on. Well, coincidence though. Like I'm on top of shit like that, and I know where you're going. It wasn't like surveillance or anything like that. And so we're walking back to the bungalow that we've been at all week, and I'm like, I think that guy in the guard shack was God just talking to me. And Katie goes, "Yeah, you think, Sean?" And I was like, that's fucking crazy. And she's like, "That's not fucking crazy." She said, "Sean, God's always talking to you. You just don't make the room to let him in." And then we go to our bungalow, and this dude is staying on the other side of it. So I took that as this guy's like maybe something else kind of watching over us while I'm in this vulnerable state. And then I get into the bungalow, and I start crying, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Get this shit. Let me pull this text up, I'll read it to you. We're talking, and my phone dings, and it's Dan's daughter, who I've never met. She doesn't have my number. Her dad just died, and I get this text.
On the hunting trip with his son.
Yeah.
We're talking restoring yellow headlights,
It says,
carpets, tackling filthy
"Hey Sean,
and giving your leather interiors some love."
this is Taylor, Dan's daughter. My dad requested that I reach out to you. I had a moment with him the other day when my mom and I walked into his gun room. It was the first time she had been in there since his passing, and I felt the whole room waken like invisible stars were just bouncing off the walls. There were a few people in the room, but he really grabbed me by the balls, as he would say, and made a couple of clear points. I want you to know he spoke very gently, very smooth-like, and he was calm and tranquil. One favor he asked of me is that I contact you when I'm ready. He didn't give me any more direction than that, but I think he would just like you. I think he would just like you to know he sees you or feels you. My mom told me recently you had become his best friend and favorite person to be around. And if that's true, it's safe to say he really loved you just exactly as you are. Unfortunately, my dad didn't really talk about our personal lives. We had more of a feeling type relationship. Not a lot of talking, but just the right amount of loving from afar. If there's ever a chance you'd feel comfortable talking about yours and his story, I'd love to hear about it. And I'm sure he would too.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that changed my life forever.
Did you talk to her?
Yeah.
That's an incredible story.
Pretty wild, isn't it?
Did you doubt it? Or did you...
Not at that point.
You knew.
I mean, that all happened in about 15 minutes from walking through the gate to seeing Gabe's identical twin to Dan's daughter, who'd never met me and didn't have my phone number, texting me that.
This is not what you expected when you got on the flight to Sedona.
That's one way to put it.
How much your wife said that God is always talking to you, but you don't hear it because you're distracted. Do you think that's true?
Yeah. Yep. And then I think it happened again in that year and a half I was telling you about that I let all the praise and all that get to me.
Yeah.
I got too wrapped up in it.
Yeah, we've all been there. For sure. Especially with knowledge, it's not just money and fame or all that. I've never taken any of that seriously, but the idea that you know stuff that civilians don't know, that's a kind of arrogance and lie. You said that. You said, like, you don't know the things I know. Why am I even listening to you?
Yep.
I've definitely been there.
It's a pretty fucked up place to be.
Yeah, it's a pretty subtle temptation, too, because, of course, who doesn't want more knowledge? Isn't the whole point of this business to find out how things work?
That's what everybody will make you think.
Well, it's what I've always assumed. And then, as my wife once pointed out to me, Adam and Eve didn't get ejected from the garden because of their ignorance, but because of their knowledge. So, the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, I have mixed feelings about it. I used to think that was like the highest virtue, was just to know more. But having learned a lot, more than, I think, not to be arrogant, more than most people, I'm not sure it got me anything. It definitely didn't get me to understanding. Yeah. Did you feel that as you learned, as you uncovered more and more lies? Did you feel happier, more content, more at peace? Did you feel like you had a deeper understanding of other people, or did you just feel agitated?
Oh, just agitated, just anger and rage and all the time. I bring it home and I try to play with my kids. I wasn't there. My head wasn't there. I try to smoke a joint or something to get in the present moment. That wouldn't work. So I quit all of that shit. I have no vices now. It's great.
When did you give up weed?
About a month ago.
How's it going?
Great.
Any downsides?
Nope.
Didn't affect your sleep?
I don't know what's affected my sleep.
You can't sleep anyway, so
that's not, that's all this other stuff that I'm going through right now that's affected my sleep. It's not that.
But you gave up weed, no drinking?
No drinking. Haven't had a drop in over 4 years. That happened after Ibogaine. And then, now no caffeine.
No caffeine?
Nicotine.
No nicotine?
Sorry.
Okay, now? Okay.
Sorry. But,
Sean, I was with you up until right then.
but
You start getting into nicotine, and that's like crazy town.
no drugs, no weed, no nothing.
What do you think of it?
It's great. There's just nothing to mask your emotions. Fucking naked in front of everybody. It's happening, when I'm reading that text, that would never happen before. I'm feeling things. I'm feeling emotions that, before I just felt rage. just anger. That's pretty much it. You know, and now I'm feeling all of them.
I think that's why we use substances. We don't have to do that, right? Was it a hard transition?
Not as hard as you think.
You don't feel on overload?
This is what puts me on overload.
Was it hard to get off? What was harder, getting off caffeine and nicotine or social media?
Yeah.
How long did it take to get over your withdrawals, your ex-withdrawals?
Not long, you know, but my circumstances are a little different because of the things I'm dealing with right now and what I was, you know, describing to you with the priests and that kind of stuff. Is just so much more important and so much more real. So I have to deal with that, and which means I can't be dealing with this. And I know what this will do. I know it will throw me back on the path that I was on, and I don't want any part of that anymore.
So you're describing the phone as actively evil. I mean, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, one person showed me, you know, I mean, talking about Adam and Eve, you know, what is that?
It's an apple.
Yeah, with one bite out of it.
I've never thought of that. Huh. So it's like, this is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, basically. I never thought of that.
Me neither.
You can tell what a deep person I am. How often do you have a realization like that, and you understand that, like, something you've had in your hand, you know, every 5 minutes for the last 10 years, you've never really thought about it?
Yeah.
How am I missing the most obvious things?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're all a slave to it.
So you're rolling out an app called Glacier.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite things to talk about is technology, or apps, I should say, or other people's projects, or like what someone's selling or whatever. Every time I interview someone, not every time, but very often, there's like, I've got this new thing, can you talk about it? You actually didn't mention this to me at all. You didn't want to talk about it. And I hate this topic, but this is an interesting enough thing that I would actually like to push you on a little bit.
Okay.
So one of the big problems I have with phones is that they're not private, of course, and not just for us. I mean, it's obvious if you're in broadcasting, you know, you're going to be surveilled. So, and I know that I am. But just like everybody is, and it's upsetting. And there's really kind of no solution to it. I've spent a lot of time on this topic, and I've never seen anything that protects people from it. But it sounds like this app might help. What is it?
It's can I just tell you the story?
Yeah.
That would be better than me trying to get into the technicalities of everything that I don't know and understand that well.
Yeah.
But you know, it just came from paranoia. You know, and I mean, last time I checked, I think I interviewed 8 people that got picked up for the administration. Two of them thanked me personally because they said my interviews are the ones that got them in there. One of them got picked 5 days after I released the interview, Secretary of War. Just like after they all got in there, and there's, you know, some of them trying to influence me, and senators and congressmen and other people. And I'm like, and now that they're in there, it's like they want me to do shit, or they did. I pretty much have made my statements, like I'm very loud about shit, and I want them to get the message. So don't fucking ask me for that stuff. But I got paranoid. Like, are they monitoring me now because they're worried I'm going to go against them, or like what's going on? And then the Bao Shikim interview happened, in Taiwan, and I started getting paranoid about that. So anyways, I started looking up. I was like, I need like something, if anything, just for peace of mind. Like, are they listening when I'm talking to my wife? Are they listening when I go to dinners with people? Like, what is happening? And and so
Short answer, yes.
Yeah, so I started asking around for a black phone. I'm like, what is the one that people are using? And is there a real one, or is it all these bullshit gimmicky ones that came out? And a friend of mine said, yeah, this is what the tier 1 units and the intelligence communities and stuff are using. It's called Glacier. And so I called who's now my COO, Elijah, and I was like, hey, get in touch with this company and let's I want a phone, and I want one for everybody on the team. And so he got in touch, and I was like, see if they're interested in advertising. And it's like, yeah, they love the show. I was like, really? That's cool. And I was like, see if they're interested.
That's a community that watches your show, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. And I was like, see if they want to do an equity deal. Yeah, they want to do an equity deal. And I was like, all right, well, let's get the product and see if we like it and if it actually works. And then I found out the price of the product, and I was like, holy shit. Like, it's very expensive for a phone and even more expensive for the service.
Like, ballpark.
Like, close to 10 grand for the phone, and maybe a little bit more than that for the service. And so I was like, man, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm like, well, we're getting them because I'm super fucking paranoid, and they have like kidnapping features for your kids, and they can upload and delete footprints in different countries so that it makes them, they can do all kinds of like wazoo shit, like totally delete your digital footprint, from wherever, and upload a fake one. Like they can do all kinds of like, they have a messaging service that tunnels you in, so like, the signal leak that happened early on, that's impossible to happen. You could have your entire organization in this one chat where you can't accidentally add the wrong Tucker in there. You know what I mean? And
you couldn't put Jeffrey Goldberg from the Atlantic on your group text.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. That might be worth 10 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I was like, man, I would love to do business with you guys, but I was like, we're shooting for like top tier tech CEOs, C-suite execs, and maybe government contracts, which you guys already have a foothold in. And I was like, I would be interested if you had like an application that was maybe, close to that, or maybe some of the features that you have in this aren't in that, something that's more affordable that everybody can use. And they said, well, we obviously have a program, we can turn it into an app. And I was like, all right, let's see what that looks like. So we did it, and we spent about a year putting it all together. And so it's called the Glacier app, and it's a lot of the VPN companies that podcasters are representing are owned by China, or they're owned by Israel, or they're owned by Russia. They're fake. Yeah. And you can look it up. Don't take my word for it.
I dropped a VPN sponsor over this exact question.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And
I didn't know that. I didn't know that the VPN is basically a digital honey trap.
yeah. And so, and a lot of like, there's a Chinese company that owns like a whole conglomerate of these things. So anyways, we're all American VPNs. No data is stored at all. Secure DNS, data blocking. So I think this morning before I came in here, we just launched it. Like, it just happened to come out like 2 days ago. And just by, 11 a.m. we had like 830 web trackers blocked on the phone, which is the marketing shit. And I don't even have social media apps on my phone. Told you I deleted them all. And then it has we have a burner number service on there. So, especially for somebody like you or I, who's meeting all these people, maybe you don't want everybody to have your number, so you can go in there and pick any area code you want, buy a burner number, and give that to these state actors, or for regular people, you get a hotel, you make a contribution to a political campaign, you order a pizza, whatever it is, like that your number, goes up for sale, and then you're getting 50 million spam calls. So you can buy however many burner numbers you want, and if the relationship goes sour, you just burn the number and pick a new one, and then they have no way to contact you ever again. So yeah, we call it the Glacier app, and it's affordable. Everybody can get it.
Does it help prevent you from being spied on?
It does the things that I told you it does, and so there's nothing that's foolproof, being honest. Like, I'm sure there's some way to possibly defeat it, but for the majority of stuff, it's going to block 99% of the stuff that comes in.
What if your phone number's on the internet?
What if your phone number's on the internet?
Yeah, my number's on the internet.
Well, I mean, it's not going to delete your phone number off the internet. But,
Damn.
but you can get as many new ones as you want. So.
And you just go to the Apple Store and get it?
Yep. You go to the Apple Store and get it. Or the glacieраpp.com, either one. It's just for iOS right now. We'll have Android out in a couple months. But with your number, just, Glacier aside, if you get rid of your number, you want to keep it and get a new one. You don't want to burn the number that you have all your banks and all that kind of stuff to, because if somebody else picks that up, then it would be a bad deal for you.
It'd be a bad deal.
Yeah.
I don't do online banking as a result.
Or online whatever.
Yeah, I don't do online anything.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't. I never was impressed by all that stuff. I order ammo on my phone, that's it. It's the only transaction I do on my phone.
I'll bet you got a lot of that.
I do. Yeah, I have a lot of that. So what, I know you're not in the business of giving advice to people. You're clearly coming from a place, especially now, of genuine humility. And you said it's important to work on yourself before you start running around telling other people how to live. And I respect all of that. But if you had a son who was 15 or 25 or, older, and said, what advice would you give me about how to live? What would your advice be?
Don't put your faith in any man.
Yeah.
You'll be disappointed every single time.
Yeah. That's really wise. There's something in us that wants to believe in other people. Did you put your faith in Pete Hegseth?
Yep.
What was your takeaway from your interview with him?
Well, if I remember right, I don't remember the interview that well, but if I remember right, Pete wanted to be the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs.
He did, in the first term.
And I just don't really have much interest in the Veterans Affairs, and so I steered the interview into what would you do if you were Secretary of Defense? Because I was much more interested in that kind of stuff than I was with the Veterans Affairs. Being a veteran, I just think the VA is a lost cause.
Really?
Yeah, and so I steered it that way, and then 5 days later, after the release, the guy gets. I didn't even want to interview Pete because it was a book. He had a book out, and he's a Fox News guy, and I fucking hate Fox News. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to interview him because he's a Fox News guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, like I think it was whatever. I was like, all right, we'll do it. And then it was like, all right, hurry up and get this interview out. You just get it out. Let's get this over with.
You didn't think you were about to change history of the world?
No.
Yeah.
And then 5 days later, he gets picked up for Secretary of Defense.
What did you think when you heard that?
I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. And then it inflated my ego. I'm like, holy shit, the show has power. Then I went to the Army-Navy football game, and he points at me. He goes, thank you. I'm like, I was up at the box with all the big wigs, you know, Vance and Trump and all of them. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? But it inflates my ego. And I'm like, holy shit. And then everybody else gets picked. Cash Patel, Tulsi, you know. Now I'm not saying like I'm the guy, but for that one, that interview definitely had some influence.
How do you think it's gone?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of these guys really have any. You know, the funny thing is, like, you see all these people get up there and they get addicted to this fucking power that they do not have. You know, it's like you think you're so powerful, but you can't you can't even say what's on your mind. Like, you're powerless. You have no fucking power. You're just around. You're around power that's telling you what to do and what to say, and it's like, I don't get but they probably don't see it. You know what I mean? They probably don't see it, but they think they have all this power, and they don't have any fucking power.
Because they can't say what they really think.
Yeah, they can't say what they won't even stand up for what they believe in, man. Like, look at the shit that's happening. You're gonna sit here and tell me the fucking country's going great while the president of the United States kids are buying private islands with bunkers? Must be going great.
Fair. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's probably not a good sign then, right?
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they got some insider information, but you know, I mean, how can you, like, what?
Why do you hate Fox News? It's so great.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should give it another chance. It's probably been 3 or 4 years since I've watched it.
Me too.
I don't think I'm missing anything, but
But, I mean, can you drill down a little bit on that? What about it turned you off? I'm just interested. I worked there at one point, so
yeah, I mean, just the it's just lies over there too. I think, you know, it's with both. It's not just Fox News. It's all of them. It's all of them. You know, and you see, you know, especially like now. I haven't seen it in a while, but I would see things pop up on X and stuff, and I'm like, and the older generation that watches it, that's how I know what's going on there, you know, and it's like, man, did you know about like this and that, the other, like, are you getting a full picture here, or they don't know anything. It's just crazy to me, like they listen to only, you know, one source, and it's like, man, like you're not getting a full picture here, and they're hiding shit from you. Maybe they're not lying. They probably are, but they're hiding shit from you. They're hiding the full picture. They're hiding the full picture of the Epstein files. They're hiding the full picture of everything. The Iran war. Like, is anybody over there talking about the petrodollar?
No.
Is anybody talking about the schizophrenic leadership that we're dealing with right now? Like this shit with Canada? Like, could you imagine, like, doing business with the U.S.? Like the Canada pipeline, and I'm going to butcher this, but like, what the Biden administration denied it. They didn't want the Keystone?
Yes.
Keystone pipeline coming in. And then they're like, okay, so then they do some deal with China. And then we, throw like a 25%, then Trump comes in, we throw a 25% tariff on them for doing business with China. Then we throw a 35%. Then we do a 100% tariff. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is Canada supposed to do? They tried to pipe it right into the Midwest. We denied it. Now you're gonna put a 100% tariff on them for making a deal with somebody else that they offered us at the beginning. Like, if I was a foreign country, there's no way in fucking hell I would do business with the United States.
Because there's no continuity. It just
No.
Yeah.
It's literally like dealing with a crazy person, like a schizophrenic fucking crazy person. Like, shit, I just offered this to you guys like a couple of years ago. Now you're like going crazy on me. What are you supposed to do?
I think you're supposed to remember.
That's just one.
I think the answer is Putin is bad. He's very, very bad.
That's the rumor.
I think one of the main reasons that the United States, which is protected from the rest of the world by the world's largest oceans, never been invaded, has all the natural resources we need, and a lot of great and smart people. The whole reason that we've been perpetually at war, really since 1917, is because identifying a foreign threat or foreign enemy or something to worry about far away removes attention from our own bad leadership. It's a way of like our leaders to be like, okay, you're right, but Putin. But honestly, the problem's Putin or Hitler, who's been dead for 85 years or whatever. It's like, okay.
Like this Trade Hormuz stuff, like, from what I understand, like nobody really controlled it before. But now Iran has discovered, like, holy shit, like the United States can't even shut us down. So now I'm sure there's going to be tax and escorts and everything until the end of time, because if we can't shut them down, nobody's going to shut them down. Of course. You know what I mean? And so, hello, new gas prices, like they're not fucking coming back.
We just turned Iran into a global power.
Yeah.
And it will remain a global power for the rest of our lives, at least.
Good job, Admin.
Yeah, good job. Did you think when you interviewed Pete Hegseth, since you served in the military under a secretary of, well, then it was defense, now it's of war. In fact, let me just interrupt myself and say, what do you think of the change from of Defense Department to Department of War?
Oh, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, why? You know that's just gonna piss people off. Who cares? We had to make, and then of course we had to make a big show about it. I mean, I think Pete has done some good stuff. You know, I mean,
yeah.
He's cleaned up some of the maybe all of the DEI stuff. I think that's great. Good job. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know what I mean? I don't really know how much influence the SecDef even has anymore. You know, so good job on that, because that sucked, and I saw I saw morale come back. I still got some buddies in. But I'll tell you what, I just had some buddies leave, and everybody knows what this is. Everybody knows they're fighting for Israel. It's a joke. And this isn't me saying this. This is not me saying this.
Right.
This is them. This is the guys that are going to go over there in Tier 1, Tier 2 units that are joking around, saying like, yeah, this isn't even for us. And, you know, throughout history, that's not a winning strategy.
Well, especially since
if they don't believe in what they're potentially going to do, which hopefully they're going to do nothing.
Yes.
But high probability they're going to do something, and they know it's not for the United States, it's for a foreign country. Like, the fight's out of the dog, buddy.
Really? Well, especially because they can get killed. I mean, it's kind of high stakes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
They know it's not for us. We're not defending our country.
And you think they know that?
No, I don't think they know that. I know they know that. Because I just had a going away party for one. And that's all he was talking about. And it's fucking sad.
I mean, it's such a betrayal. It's such a betrayal.
Like, why don't you just get out, man?
Seriously, what do you do? I don't know if we need like more shooting schools or executive protection. I mean, I feel for those guys. They have these specialized talents, skills honed at great expense over years.
Well, you got to give them hope, and so because that's where most of them wind up, and a lot of them are happy doing it. My guy is, but
Just saying,
if you don't, then you have to be willing to reinvent and start from zero and go to one, and that's really fucking hard to do. But that's what you have to do.
Do you talk to people getting out a lot? Yeah.
Not a lot, but I mean, I'm getting older, so I'm losing touch, and most of my generation is out.
How do they feel about what they did?
Pissed.
Really?
Majority of them are pissed.
And these are GWAT people.
Yeah.
What are they mad about?
They don't believe it was for the right reasons. I just told you the Pete Blaber episode. The whole Iraq invasion was based off of a fucking lie. A water truck, an air conditioning unit, and a guy taking piss outside of a building.
That sounds like weapons of mass destruction to me, Sean.
We sure showed them, didn't we?
So, at some point you got recruitment problems if people believe what you just said, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know what the numbers are.
When you were over there, did you think a lot about why you were over there?
Yeah. But, information didn't flow like it does now. So we all thought we were there for the right reasons, and really the only gripe was coming home and listening to all the liberal Democrats bitching about the war. It turns out they were right the whole fucking time.
I know.
But,
That's a head trip right there. That's hard for me to admit, but it's true. So that raised questions. So like guys in SEAL teams or Delta or any of the most famous and highly trained special operator types, I always assume that they're right-wing Republicans. I've always thought that. Is that still true?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really. Everything's just so mixed up now.
Yes.
Shit, you just got a love letter from my mother-in-law who hated you a year ago.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? Everybody's mixed up. I don't think anybody knows.
Wrote me a
what
very
they are.
nice letter. She's now a subscriber.
I thought she was never going to talk to me when you wrote her a letter a year ago.
I did. I wrote it in jest, but also, from one Protestant to another, I thought I could make a connection. But anyway,
And you did.
It's hilarious. She seems very sweet, actually. Everything's so messed up now. That's right. Like, how would you describe your politics? Do you have politics, or you're just not even interested anymore?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah. So my last question is, like, what do you think? So you know what's going on in your life. You've had, and thank you for talking about it. I know it's like you're in the middle of it, so it's hard to talk about it. But do you see it happening in other people? Like, do you think there's something bigger going on?
Oh yeah. I mean, yes, I do. I don't know what's real and what's not, though. I
Right.
think that there are people also that are, coming to Christ who are like, oh, look what happened to that guy. You know what I mean? With his view counts or what? It's like the thing to do now. Sometimes, So I don't know, but yeah, I think there's a wave of it happening. I mean, there's definitely a resurgence in the younger generations.
Yes.
And so that's really cool. That's really cool to see it.
And you see that.
Yeah, I see it. I see when I go to church, everybody's paying attention, and I bounce around from all kinds of different churches.
Just this morning.
Yeah, the priest didn't show up out here.
I should say. You texted me at
Thanks for
7:30 this
communion.
morning. You want to go to church with me? This is the least Christian state out of 50, so there aren't many churches and active churches. But you decide Monday morning you're going to church.
I go 3 to 4 days a week now.
Really?
Yeah, I like to bring. I bring my 2-year-old, and then the next day I bring my 4-year-old, and after each time we go to mass, I bring him to breakfast, and we get some one-on-one time, and then take him home, and then I go to work.
That's the best.
It's awesome. I love it, and they're into it. It just came from paranoia, and I mean, I think last
It was like a nightmare. Oh, is that?
Oh yeah, all of them, all of them. What's really cool actually is you're addicted to the fight. I can see it. These guys are addicted to the fight. I'm addicted to the fight. A lot of these guys have fought for 30 plus years, and like a guy like Tom Satterley, who I brought to the Elk Party with me.
Yeah.
And he was in Somalia, when that whole thing went down, and then did the whole
man.
Yeah, amazing human.
Yes.
Well, all these guys that are like, addicted to the fight now. There's just so many of us that are diving into spiritual warfare and learning about it, and so it seems to be the new thing with my old community.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty neat to see.
I think of it as guys who are the real dork, people who are actually pulling the trigger. Pretty secular group, I always thought. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say so. But in these times, not so much.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you for talking about all this.
my pleasure.
I know it's painful, but I think it's really inspiring.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me.
Literally anytime.
I love coming out here.
I love having you. John Ryan, thank you.
And now you can see how far I am back. I'm like way far back.
Susan Collins broke her promise to protect Roe v. Wade and cast the deciding vote for Trump's justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. Now states are banning abortion without exceptions. Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
But I'll never forget as David walked up with the Mater D. David was saying, this place is bigger than Chili's.
It was. It was like 5 chilies taped together.
And this kid working in the airport said, hey man, when are you going to make a comeback?
Oh yeah, come back.
And I said, well, you're already really down. You just missed a fight. And I said, well, I got to get back to LA to get this comeback started. So probably going to be at least 2 days before I start the old comeback.
Where did I go?
Like he was an anthropologist about married life.
I was like an exotic insect. He was trying to understand. 43 years.
Telling me that when you walk in the door and it's the same woman, you don't want to.
Yeah, what do you do then? We have Luke Wilson. Friend of the show for real.
His first time.
Yes, he has been on the show. He listens to the show. And he said, let's do it again. Let's run it back. He's on the show Hawk on Netflix with Fortune, Molly Shannon, a lot of people we know. Will Ferrell, obviously. And looking forward to that. And, of course, we have a nice chitter chat with him. And we hear all about what it's like to get stuck in an elevator.
It goes a lot of places, and there's some unexpected twists and turns in this episode. I'll leave it at that.
Don't worry, we definitely interrupt him.
We definitely interrupt him, but he's definitely in our Hall of Fame, officially in the Hall of Fame of favorite guests. We have a lot of favorite guests, and he's a charming chap with a great sense of humor and tells great stories.
So here he is, Luke Wilson.
Or did they get him down, or is he still?
Luke, the first big question. Let's
Oh,
get-
here we go.
Cut out the bullshit.
First of all, I was going to start with the question, so I feel like this is like a political debate where you're jumping the gun on me. But go ahead.
yeah.
No, I would
No,
like a
you
question.
start.
We love questions. Not since William Shatner have we been asked a question.
I know that. And my first question was, and I have a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
The first question was, Dana, since you won't tell us the name of the town that you live in, will you at least tell us the names of your horses? Just as I listen to this show, I'm like, I like how Dana's kind of evasive. Each time he says where he lives,
he's
it's
very
north of
fake,
Santa Barbara or
mysterious.
south of San Luis
It's a
Obispo,
hermit
or
kingdom.
in the
Central California.
coast. I'm like, yeah.
I've heard.
What are
this
the
horse.
names of your horses?
Magrosa is the mom. Magrosa and
These are
Rojo.
like Jiminy Glick questions. What are the names of your horses?
What is the name?
You fancy
Sorry,
yourself a
what
cowboy.
are they? Excuse me.
Magrosa and Rojo. They're gray and
Okay,
red,
cool.
kind of. But yeah, I keep.
That's enough.
Could we? I mean, you don't have to answer any questions I ask, but could you tell us your personal address where you live in LA?
Would you give me your PIN? Will you at least give us your PIN number? Since you
Will you at
won't
least
tell
give us your 4-digit code?
Hey man, I know I'm east
Yeah,
of
the other
west
thing
of
I was gonna
Fresno.
say is
I'm
in the
east of Goleta.
No idea where any of these places
Look, we don't
are.
have crime here, so we don't lock our
The thing
doors ever. So that's all you need to know.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I guess, Dave, we won't be getting invited up there anytime soon.
I
'cause
know.
We couldn't get there.
He goes, go to Santa Barbara and then I'll come get you.
You guys are both invited
Yeah.
because we have 2,600 people who are going to listen to this. So I want to make sure that they don't, barge up here. But no one's ever asked me that question. So thank you for the question.
Well, I could sense just in different shows, I'm like, this guy doesn't want us to know the town that he lives in. Okay, that's interesting. and
I'm
just thought it was
unintentionally
kind of funny.
mysterious to people. I'm unintentionally mysterious. I
That's
don't know
his
why.
sexiness.
It's a little Howard Hughesian, and I love Howard
Yeah.
Hughes, but I hear someone I want to know a lot about, so I guess that was it.
You ask him a
the other
question, he
thing is,
dances
I've been
around.
talking
Okay, he
about
has
it
another
a lot.
question. Go ahead.
Well, I was just this is more of just a statement. In the last couple of weeks, I've been going around saying a couple of things. One of which is Judy Garland never owned a car.
That's a great one.
Which was what you were saying.
A direct quote.
The great Nathan. And the
Wasn't
other one
Nathan
was,
Lane funny?
These are the Mickey. It was so great. I mean, you guys have had so many great episodes, and to me, it's some of the great ones are when it's just you two guys talking. But that Nathan Lane was so funny, and the fact that Dana and Nathan's stories linked up perfectly.
Synced
It was
up,
not
shockingly.
like Rashomon. And that the Barbara Mandrell. And Nathan Lane sang it that he kept repeating it as if it was an incantation.
Yes.
And then of course, you talked about Mickey Rooney before in that great line of saying, from 1937 to 1944, I was the biggest star in the world. Ow!
Number one star in the world. You hear me? Bang. The world. And these are direct. And so Nathan, I hadn't seen in a long time. I felt like I stepped back to 1981 in New York with him. And so we co-signed these memories that I told these stories and thought maybe I was a little exaggerating. Nope, it was spot on. The only thing I did disagree with, I thought the woman on the cover of the magazine, I thought it was Farrah Fawcett. But he remembers Barbara Mandrell, which is funnier if it's
Funnier.
true.
It's
Funnier,
so
yeah. Barbara.
And you can picture her in 1981 being on the cover of People. And the other great one was Mickey throwing his arm around Nathan saying,
Yeah.
you know what I like, you know what's great about us? We like girls.
Yeah,
While they're
I'm
while
just
looking
glad
at
we
you.
like girls. These are direct quotes, word for word. I didn't even do that. You've heard my Scatman Carruthers stories. He was another one that we didn't get to, but yeah.
He goes, Dana's
What's
a
so
little
funny
light in the
about that
loafers.
is, like,
Man,
you know,
I was not expecting that. To be here for hours.
and with Dana saying, like, yeah, back then, you know, he had kind of a floppy haircut, and, like, sometimes would do these imitations where somehow these guys thought that, yeah. But it's so funny, like, I think we talked, when I was last on, about how, you know, how fun it is to have worked with those older guys, but then Mickey Rooney, that's kind of behind the generation that I ever got to work with, and you got to work with Burt Lancaster and Scatman Crothers. I mean, that's a whole other story.
And Kirk Douglas, yeah. Kirk Douglas and Burt.
Right,
I know, it's kind of weird. Well, since this is about you, I mean, I'm trying to just ascertain where you've cross-checked older actors and you're working with them and going, holy shit, I'm working with X, Y, and Z, as they say. You must have all those stories. You have such a long resume.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, those are and really, along with working with people from SNL, which I've always loved, it's getting the chance to work with those kind of, I always look at them as like 1970s actors, even though some of them got started kind of well before that, but, you know, like Gene Hackman or
Gene Hackman.
or Nick Nolte or Martin Sheen, and those guys are just so great. And like Mickey Rooney, their stories somehow are just unbelievable. Or not unbelievable, they're very believable, but you can't believe how great they are.
But they're referencing all these cool things you remember.
But yeah, it's really cool that you got to work with those guys from that generation.
Jesus, Reggie.
Well, and also on SNL, sorry, it was just we had Robert Mitchum and we had Charlton Heston as a host, and that was very interesting on SNL, hanging out with those guys. Yeah.
Right. How was Robert Mitchum as a host?
You mean Bob?
Bob, yeah.
Bob
He's a
Mitchum.
cool guy.
He had the classic Jack Daniels bottle, like a half gallon of Jack Daniels, and he was just stories about Vietnam and politics and weirdness. And we were in a Jack Handy sketch, if you know the reference. Sometimes they're very esoteric and brilliant. We were playing beekeepers in the Himalaya mountains, and we're dressed in the outfit, and neither of us ever really knew what the sketch was about. But he was old school.
Yeah, I remember. I knew Harry Dean Stanton, the great character actor, and I knew Harry Dean knew Robert Mitchum, and I asked Harry Dean, I said, what was Robert Mitchum like? He said, great guy, always stoned.
Oh, really?
That's how he described Mitchum.
and yeah, he liked his Jack, but it's Harry Dean said he liked a couple cocktails, right? I mean, that was old school back then. They had a bar on every set.
Everyone was drunk.
He was a Dan Tannis fixture, Harry Dean.
Oh yeah.
I remember being on a plane with Harry Dean, and this would have been like 2001, and he asked the stewardess, you know, can I smoke on the plane? She said, no, you may not. And then he said, even in the bathroom? So yeah, those guys were from another era.
Trivia, Luke, that the first girl that dated me in LA when I moved out here wound up with Harry Dean Stanton.
Really?
Not Rebecca DeMay.
From Risky Business? they were friends.
Oh, I thought they were an item, but really,
no, it might have been them, but it was sort of probably in the middle because I'm older. I'm not older than him. That's the only person I'm not older than.
What was your first year in LA, David? And was it before SNL?
Yeah, it was back a ways. I'm Dana now. It was just back then, you know.
Yeah. What clubs did you play? Go
They
ahead.
should call this the evasive hour with Dana and David.
No, they call us the vagrants.
When we aren't recording, this will drive the audience crazy. I'm going to tell
No.
you everything.
I wanted to know if Luke has ever been called Puke when he was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Luke the Puke, yeah.
Were you around
Oh,
for
for
Luke
sure.
Skywalker, or was it you missed that?
Oh, those were two big
Top
ones.
2 answers on the board.
Puke. And and my friends called me Puke, and I had another friend, Joey, who called me Sloop because his family said when I called the house, I'd say, "May I speak to Joey, this Sloop?"
Oh, this is Luke. This Luke.
Yeah,
All right, I would have called you Luke-a-lele.
Oh, Luke.
Luke.
What about Luca Plakia?
Yeah, it's funny, Luca Plakian. I'd never seen that movie, and then in like 8th grade, people started saying Luca Plakian, and I didn't get that.
I was called Lucas because I was such a little puss, and I went out for football. And I was fragile, and I couldn't get the girls. I'm like, fucking put me in that movie. Lucas
And
was a great
theirs,
movie.
football, I'm sure, was rather intense, like kind of Texas football.
Arizona, yeah.
People don't know, we must talk about last time, you have an enormous VO2 max gift, which is unusual. When you told me your 880 time, I was like, damn,
VO2
that's
max.
national class. VO2 max is, this. So that's interesting. What I'm curious about with someone like you, because Luke is an alpha male name, like a stud, right? So in high school, neither David and I, we could not really get girls. Were you popular in high school, or were you a late bloomer?
Yes.
Well, I went to this school. I went to this school that was very academically oriented. No, it wasn't military school. Owen went to a military school.
Yeah.
But I went to a boys' school that was very academically oriented, and I did not have good grades. So things were more kind of oriented towards honor roll, and this guy was already had a scholarship to Princeton, but I did have I had a really nice class, and I really liked everybody and got along with everybody, and so I it's like when you say popular, you think of like the homecoming king, but I just feel like I had a nice class where I got along with people, and not that you never had differences with guys, but
Kevin Costner graduated high school graduated high school at 5'1", then went to 6'1". How tall were you when you graduated high school? You don't have to answer these questions.
This is great. I think I was about the same height I am now, about 5'11" or 6 feet, and then I'm always trying to figure out. I think I kind of weighed more in high school. Almost, I feel like I weighed like 170. I mean, I weigh that up. Yeah, I feel like I was maybe kind of bigger in high school.
Yeah, you kind of ballooned up lately.
For a half mile runner.
He's going with fucking Schwartzen for the last month.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How embarrassing.
Oh, I feel bad for him. He, a few, and I only say this because he was so public about it, but about 6 days into the movie, he went down with his appendix, which is hard enough, and we were in Louisville, Kentucky, but he was outside of Louisville.
Are there any doctors in that city or no?
He was not even in Louisville, I don't think. He was kind of out more kind of in a rural area.
Wow.
But he got his appendix went, and of course he was staying in an extended stay suite, so not where you want to convalesce, but his appendix, he got hit with that, had to get operated on for that. Then he got an infection, and of course he was making these Instagram videos all about the illness. But we did get the movie done. We had a good time, and he was. I mean, to me, I only know him from having done The Ridiculous Six with Adam Sandler, and I just that was when I first that was when I
you were in the
first met him.
Ridiculous.
And
I was in that
Schwartzy
too.
is just I know.
What did
Schwartzy
Schwartzen
is
do?
one
Was
of
he
the
writing
funniest
jokes
guys.
on it?
President Xi Jinping of China.
He was there for the he was there for the
Because
duration.
he's very
I
good
can't
at
remember if
sitting
he
at-
played a part.
Video Village and cranking out jokes.
Yeah, and which he did, and then I'd never been around him, and just he's such a good guy and such a funny guy.
Yeah, he's
And
got
so
some jokes.
so it was funny to do this movie. We just did Mini Wars together because he's a character, and he was playing a real character.
I saw him with his watermelon head on Instagram, and I couldn't help but shit all over him every time he posted something. I had no sympathy at all, and I just make fun of him immediately.
I know. So at one point, I said to one of the producers, I said, "Should he be posting these videos, kind of possibly on his deathbed?"
Yeah.
Is this kind of aren't we kind of like a football team where you don't want to be posting about like I've got this, Terry, where your kickers just had knee surgery, but yeah. I thought, gosh, am I starting to now think like a producer? But should he really be doing this? Is this, or is this just how the younger generation does it, where nothing is secret?
Everything is shared.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Step up to the plate this summer with your Irving Rewards card. 1 and 2 fuel swipes win a fuel discount of up to 75 cents per gallon. Every swipe is a chance to win free fuel for a year. Hit a home run and win with
Promises here? Well, let's just say that it would be very
Hey, before we jump back into the show, let's take a quick break, all right? Not just any break. This is a refreshing break with Snapple. We all know about Snapple's iconic Real Facts. So let's take a minute to go over some of my favorites.
Snapple Real Fact 455. Movie trailers used to come on at the end of the movies, but no one stuck around to watch them.
I've heard that.
What's that?
Snapple Real Fact 831. Adults laugh only about 15 to 100 times a day, while preschoolers laugh an average of 300 times a day.
Snapple Real Fact 1983. The first player drafted to play pro football never played in the league.
That's interesting. Snapple Real Fact 1274. Kickball is referred to as soccer baseball in some parts of Canada.
So, grab a Snapple, take a second, enjoy the moment.
Because let's be honest, this might be the most refreshing part of your day. Snapple, make your break more interesting.
Running a business means wearing a lot of hats, but I used to find that traditional banking options always seemed to slow me down with endless friction like playing phone tag just to chase down the status of an international wire transfer. That's why I love using Mercury. It completely eliminates those legacy headaches and works exactly how you'd expect best-in-class software to work. Mercury isn't a bank. They're a financial technology company that offers a powerful, intuitive banking experience designed to automate the way you work. It's completely free to get started with no minimal balances or in-person visits required, giving you free same-day ACH, USD wires, and customizable team cards.
You know, it's an all-in-one platform that flexes as you grow, allowing you to scan bills to pay them instantly. Set up recurring payments and see exactly where your business stands right from your dashboard. Instead of duct taping multiple tools together, you can curb spend before it happens with customer user permissions and built-in spend management. Visit Mercury.com to learn more and apply online in minutes. Mercury is a fintech company, not an FDIC insured bank. Banking services provided through Choice Financial Group and Column NA, members FDIC. Luke, I ran into one of your buddies last night. He's like, he even knew we were doing this. I'm like, holy shit, man. Luke,
I know.
When he knew that he went to dinner with us when we went to dinner. What was that place called? Go.
Oh yeah, Joe T. Garcia's.
Yeah.
Joe T. Garcia's in Fort Worth, where I'll never forget you. It's this Mexican restaurant that started in a little house and then just over the years kept expanding and expanding and expanding to where it takes up a whole block and it goes through kind of an outdoor area, then into another building and through a dining room. But I'll never forget as David walked up with the Vader D. David was saying, this place is bigger than Chili's.
It was like 5 Chili's taped together. I went, they had Luke, they go, we'll take care of you guys. They put us like in a barn 100 yards away from the restaurant. I go, I don't think, no one's working in this place. They just sent a guy in and sent a bartender there for us. We're like, I kind of want to get a feel for the whole place.
I know, it's like that thing where I'm sure you guys have had it happen before where this, we'll put you in a special room and they lead you to a room where it's just you and your 2 friends. Be like, well, we would like to kind of be maybe out in the bar.
It's kind of cold and dark.
Where,
you know why? Because someone
we're not going to get mobbed. We're not going to get
beat up, mobbed, attacked.
They had someone from like Real Housewives of New Jersey that went there and said, I need my own special room. So they're like, I guess that's what these people want. They want that shit, and it is fun to go to a place like that because you want to see what the vibe is and get in there and mix it up. And,
and especially like Fort Worth is a great town, and that's my favorite, Mexican food in Texas, pretty much. This is usually the point in the show when the guest asks you guys, so when does the show start? I always like when that happens to you. You're like, no, buddy,
we don't. This is as good as it gets, pal. I mean, this is it.
Speaking of the show, I had a funny thing happen where I guess you guys will tell me if it's funny or not. It was funny to me.
Let's hear it.
But I was down in San Diego and I was at this gym and I stopped using those earbuds because I felt like they were kind of giving me tinnitus. And at the gym I'll go to in LA, I just play it off my phone with no earbuds because there's that terrible music blasting. Everyone else has on earbuds. So exactly. So I just listen to it. No one ever says anything. I just have it on loud, and I'll be, on the elliptical. But I'm down in this gym in San Diego where it was kind of older people, older than me, and same thing. I had it playing, just off my phone with no earbuds. And finally, this older guy next to me was like, "Would you turn that off?" I was listening to you guys. That's what I listened to. And he said, "Would you turn that off?"
Shit off.
And I said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't realize you could hear it." He's like, "I could hear it." He said, "Would you turn that off?" Okay. I said, "I'm really sorry." And then he said, "It's obnoxious." And I wanted to say, me doing that or the guys on the show?
No, it's us.
Good question. I can't believe Lovitz would say that to you. It's so out of character.
Lovitz goes to your gym.
Turn it off.
Is this the one where they make fun of me?
You guys are always using that line. He says, "We're like jealous, jealous,
jealous." No,
I saw him the other night for dinner, and he was so funny. He goes, "Oh, the bill came." He goes, "I got it," and then he goes, "My wallet. I just wanted to make sure I had it."
No, he does a whole dance. He knows what he's doing.
No, he said he'll split it with. He splits it sometimes.
He will.
Funny.
Yeah, John's just eccentric. I took one day to know him and 20 years to believe it.
He is great. He's another one of my SNL favorites.
He is always funny.
Oh no, he is a monster in the paint. If you know the reference, John Lovitz in 8H was a laugh machine.
I just saw him, clicking through channels and saw him on an episode of Seinfeld where he was really funny.
He's funny on everything. Every time he shows up, he's funny.
He really is.
Excuse me.
And he is one of those guys that he doesn't appear to be exerting any effort, but if someone's not funny, they're very sharp-witted and kind of, have ideas.
I have a question when we're done talking about Lovitz, but which I do like to hear. Do you have any of your movies, I can think of Tannenbaums where it's like a Halloween costume because I see some Tannenbaums, right?
Right.
It's kind of cool to see that.
That's the primary one, it seems.
It's a good look.
But yeah, that's an every year I get pictures from different
I
people.
like
Now-
that. Don't you think it's cool?
And now pictures from, people that are, weren't even born when it was out, but they'll have the Richie Tenenbaum character, which is my character, and then the Gwyneth Paltrow, Margot Tenenbaum character. But yeah, I'm sure there's some Joe Dirts. That's got to be a popular
Joe Dirts
one.
is actually, I want to be more flattered, but it's pretty easy. It's like people go really lo-fi. It's like last minute, I have jeans, work boots, flannel shirt, maybe cut the sleeves off, and then some don't even put on a shitty mullet. They put on they mess up their hair. I go, no, you're not winning any contest.
And they love
Yeah,
hearing
well,
that.
Because the Tenenbaum one is, I'm always thinking, God, where did you get a camel hair suit and like this, vintage Fila, shirt and headband? So
Just a
definitely
random
always impressed by the effort that goes into it. Dana, do you have a Halloween character that gets?
Oh, it would just be Garth. Any high school girl with long blonde hair does the glasses, the flannel,
It's too perfect.
goes like this, and yeah, it's very cute. It's very sweet.
Glasses,
Yeah,
baseball
David and I
hat.
were playing this giant 5,000 seat casino and go, let's do Q&A. So we come out and they're already, the casino, it's pretty raucous in there. On the left, there was a teenage girl dressed as Garth jumping up and down screaming, I love you, I love you. I go, let's go to the other side of the stage. There was another teenage girl, and then there was a Joe Dirt in there too, I think.
We made them kiss.
And a Tannenbaum. They go, hey, do you know Luke Wilson is?
I really want to see you guys live. So I'm gonna. And by the way, your travel stuff. You guys always kid around that you talk too much about the travel stuff, but I think that anybody that has to travel for work, it's very appealing to listen to someone else's travel.
We give you the lows, not the highs. We give you the lows.
Exactly. Whether it's the plane or the room. I just had a classic one where they wouldn't give me a key to my room after I'd been up and down and up and down. And I said, "Oh, you're," and I didn't have any ID. And I said, you're gonna give me a key. We're gonna work.
Oh, you're going full Luke on him, huh?
Do you ever try to scam the maids into doing it? You go,
when you're in. Oh yeah,
I stand by when they're there, and I go.
Sometimes the words.
I know.
I always say I can describe exactly what's inside the room. You're going to see a green backpack, and you're going to see a pair of pants hanging over the shirt when you walk in.
They go, Luke, do you want, Mr. Wilson, you want me to get those towels off the ceiling?
What accent is that?
Well,
Most.
No, so people know if you're in the MGM brand, you do your show. You have to walk kind of like a half mile to your room, and then it goes and it doesn't work.
Worst.
And you're like, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the walk that
It's
gets you.
Yeah.
You're like, go down to the Ferris wheel, take a right, and it's about, you're going to pass 4 bars, and then you're going to get on a Lazy Susan. Then
I don't like to fly, but the last time I came into Santa Barbara, it was a hard landing. I have no fear when we're about to land. I just don't like to take off. But the flight attendants both basically screamed. I was in the pointy part of the airplane, and they were sitting there. I was like, bam, wah! And I got to be the cool guy for once. What?
Hey, you okay? You okay?
You all right? Calm down. I'm more like on the takeoff.
when they get scared, when those flight attendants get scared, they pick up the phone and go, what the fuck?
Okay.
That's when I get scared, because I go, they've seen it all.
No, that's where I listen and I hear. Really? That bad? Okay, we'll clear the set. Yeah, I get anticipatory.
When you hear that drink cart just rattling, it can be a little scary.
They go like this, look, they go, yeah, they go, a terrorist on this flight? And they go,
Here's our big tariff update.
And I'm like, you shouldn't have said that so loud. I'm sitting close.
I
was on this flight?
Yeah, I had a friend who was so afraid of that. We got on a plane, and then there were empty seats, and then 10 Middle Eastern men sat down and started going, and I go, it's too obvious. Just relax. It's way too obvious. Nothing's going to happen. But he was absolutely... This was after 9/11, folks. Don't write me any letters, please.
No letters, please.
Don't let me do the metaphorical. Anyway,
dude, I just tried to film a fight out in the street. I was walking along, and it's fucking boiling out. And I'm like, going through my day, and I got this Luke shit I gotta do. Just kind of going through my head. You know?
This Luke's.
And,
our favorite reoccurring guest.
I know, and I'm finally excited about doing one. And then I see this African American kind of black guy, and he's walking by, and there's
kind of black guy.
There's a Mexican guy, and they're already arguing. So I go,
it's 2026.
I go, should I film these guys fighting? Because then I can get on TikTok and be a big hero, you know? Because I always see fights. Everything I see on my TikTok is just fighting. So I start filming, then the dude looks at me, and I go, I don't know what to do. So I walk away. Then he runs and punches the dude, and then throws him on the ground. And the guy gets up and throws him at him, and I'm like, should have filmed it, but anyway. Then I walk down, blah blah blah, and then I guess I'm almost in my car. He's walking this way. He comes right at me, and I was like, because I know I'm the little rat that was filming him, and I have the evidence.
Right. And this was just another Monday.
On the way here, yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's like... I swear, yeah. And then I was like, oh no. If this happens, the worst thing will happen. Luke will be sitting waiting to get on the Zoom like this.
On Instagram, somehow I'll get those videos of guys on golf courses getting in fights.
Oh yeah,
It must be a sign of getting older, because I do not like to watch them.
No, it's really rough, because you know someone's day is ruined.
Well, you'll see a guy with his shirt off being alpha, right? Like he beats up everyone in his life, and then some guy who just knows how to box cold cocks him, knocks him flat in front of his wife. First she's like, oh, go get him, you sexy beast, and then she's like, you're not so tough.
Right.
It's kind of sad.
Right.
The only good one, Luke,
Or
was
to be
when...
guys that are, in their 70s. You're like, gosh, this is just, you think that hopefully you get to that point and not want to be thrown
You
down.
don't always be getting in fights. There was one guy that was saying,
I don't fight.
Screaming at the other guy, and then finally, and the guy was kind of big, he was screaming at, and then he took off his shirt, he's like, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And then he fucking threw him down, and then the guy got him again, he beat the shit, and then he finds out the guy's a hockey enforcer. He's a real hockey player that beats guys up. He threw him around like a rag doll. And the guy kept coming back, and I'm like, do you have CT? Why do you keep coming back and get beat up again? Now you're out of gas, and you still gotta go, oh, you fucking pussy, and then again, wham.
Yeah, that's like whenever you see those flyweight boxers, and you think, okay, if you put kind of like an oversized t-shirt on one of these guys, they might just look like a little guy, but I do feel like I have a good radar for someone that's just kind of a badass. That
Look for those cauliflower ears.
What does your YouTube feed you, Luke, at night? And you're just like, oh, I'll go some YouTube clips. It starts feeding you. Obviously, golfers getting beat up. What's in your rotation?
I'm always shocked by how on the money it is, or something I haven't thought of that I'm like, gosh, I cannot wait to watch this. A lot of it will be, I got into a real like John Huston interviews phase, and then also I like Mitchum on Dick Cavett kind of things.
Love
Get a
Dick
lot
Cavett.
of rock. Get a lot of rock and roll.
I do get old clips from like Midnight Special of bands.
Those are great, and the Don Kirshner show, and then there's a great one, like a European one called Rock Blast, with this kind of funny bearded host, but it's it'll be like the Rolling Stones in 1972. But that's kind of what I get the most, it seems. I like that. But yeah, I'm always, YouTube is great. Just anything you're interested in, you can look it up. And but yeah, it's always fun to see those great old, in those interviews where they're not bombing through the interview like they do now on talk shows. They were just so much more conversational.
Dick Cavett was like a
the Carson.
I get a lot of old Carsons. Yeah,
the old Carsons are just great. And like I went through where I think I watched every Bob Newhart and Johnny interview, and those are so unbelievable, like them making each other laugh. And it's also so conversational, but there's just, you don't feel that vibe of, okay, this story, then that story, and this story, and then an ice bucket challenge, and
I don't even know if it's planned. Like, I mean, nowadays, I never knew that you have to sort of give them an idea of what you're going to say and tell them stories ahead of time, and they go, we like those stories. Back then, it really felt like, I don't know if it was planned or not, but because it would have dead spots, which was fine, they would just talk, and then we wouldn't have a good answer, and then it would be silent for a second.
That's what I mean.
like
there
that.
was
It's more real.
pauses in the conversation where Johnny would be like just looking and kind of smiling. But Dana, you have the great Johnny stories, even though it kind of ended with him, maybe he had his feelings hurt by Carsenio, but did you guys ever to kind of smooth it over?
Not really. I kind of regret that. It wasn't Carsenio. They're making fun of Arsenio as much as they're making fun of us. You see that, Carsenio? So he was okay with that. It was one where Susan Day came on, and Johnny didn't know the Partridge Family had been off the air. So how's that show going? And he felt on Monday, before he started the show, Johnny apparently said, you see, Ed, we're senile now. Did you see that? He didn't say Saturday Night Live. So that was unfortunate, but inhabiting Johnny was just complete Nebraskan earnestness. So Luke, you just came in and you set up the mic, and here you are, and you're talking to Dana Garney and David Spudler. I guess there's some pretty fine entertainers. Is that right? It's just this sort of. That's why he's good with old people, and young people. But I was going to say that he was the king, and there is no singular king now. There's so many shows. I mean, Colbert just got bounced, but the competition and the intensity because all the other choices. But Johnny was the settled king by the 70s. Cabot made a little noise, but yeah. So that was
Tom Snyder was good.
Tom Snyder, the
He was
Tomorrow
great,
Show.
and that's another great YouTube thing is the American Masters about Johnny, where he goes back to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Where you kind of see that other side of Johnny that you would hear about, where he was a little more quiet and thoughtful. But yeah, Tom Snyder was great. He'd smoke a few butts during an interview.
All right, sir. Fair enough, sir.
I went on his show once, and then he didn't show up. I'm in the chair, and the show's starting, the music, everything, and there's no Tom Snyder. And his first line, this was like 97 or something, he goes, so you're making fun of Johnny on the show. Why are you making fun of Johnny Carson? He went right after that, like 4 years after the fact, and I said, you know what? Fuck you. And they cut that part. No, I just said
Are you kidding?
Ask Johnny. You know what, Tom? Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on. Well, so anyway.
Luke, tell us about getting stuck in an elevator, because that's my biggest fear.
Oh God, it just shows how the news has changed. Like you could have written a book or had some great movie come out, and people are like, "So you were stuck on an elevator?" Wes Anderson and James L. Brooks had gone to the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences for a 30th anniversary screening of Bottle Rocket.
Bottle Rocket.
Cool. The first.
And there was, we went and got to walk around the museum a little bit, which is really cool. I've not been in there. And then we did a nice talk before. I say nice talk because it was great to do it instead of a Q&A after. But we did a talk before, and Wes was great and really funny on stage. James L. Brooks is always really interesting and thoughtful. And then when we finished that, we were going to go to dinner, and for some reason, we were only one floor up, but they put us on this elevator, and it was 11 people, and the thing just stopped. And I'd not been on an elevator that fully stopped and gotten stuck. And I had on a sport coat and a tie, and about 10 minutes in, I'd take off the tie, and then at about 20 minutes in, took off the jacket, and could not get out, and eventually kind of pried the doors open, that much to get a little air, and then
you had to eat James L. Brooks.
Did you have light? Was it dark, or was you have some ambient?
It was daytime, and then they did have to call the LA Fire Department and looked out, got the doors apart and saw those guys walking, and we didn't feel that they were walking with the urgency that we would have hoped for. But still,
I don't have.
I said, hey, at least we're going to get to see some hunky LA
or any of that
LA
other
Fire
stuff.
Department.
I have YouTube.
But they did
If
get
you
us
did a
out,
watch
but it was
along on
over,
YouTube,
it was
I would
over
watch
half
it.
an hour, and it was definitely.
Well, see, that's the thing, and a lot of people, they try to prevent
but
people
did
from
start
doing
to
that
think,
because they think it
okay,
will
what would happen if there was a fire
hurt the
or an
sales or
earthquake
something of
something
Netflix.
bad, and we're in a
And
metal
it's
box.
like, no, people that can
What
afford
were
it
the other
are
people
going to
like?
get it
Did
on
they
Netflix.
interview you? Hey, Luke Wilson, were
They're
they
gonna pay the
civilians?
whatever,
So,
10
quote unquote,
bucks.
or were they
It
part of the
doesn't
show?
matter, whatever it is.
In the elevator, it was a few
Yeah,
public.
if they
few
want,
publicists,
if someone can
a
pay for it,
few
they're going to
people
pay
from
for it.
the Academy, James
Oh,
L.
okay.
Brooks.
As opposed to
So
watching
yeah,
it on
no, just
YouTube on
regular
a watch
people,
along
so,
that
quote,
the
unquote.
qualities. Yeah, if someone can
there was
afford.
nobody that wasn't
Netflix,
associated
they're
with
gonna
the
get it.
talk. But yeah, so we managed to get out.
So
of
the
it.
watch
Yeah,
alongs, it
was
just
fun. A couple
opens
of
it up to
took-
people that can't
took
afford it,
pictures,
really, or might not
and
have
then it went,
even
I guess
known
it's
it
gone
existed.
semi-viral.
Are you crying?
I'm very
Yeah,
curious
and-
about Wes
and
Anderson
then
because he doesn't do a
Those
lot
that
of
can afford
interviews.
it might go, hey,
In
I'm
that
going to get Netflix
situation,
now
was
so I
his
can watch it
creative mind
in
going,
good
like, is he gonna
quality
put
as
that in a
opposed to
movie or
someone's
something, or he seems
watch
his movies
along.
are so singular, Wes.
Right, and then the people who can't afford it
funny
are
on
still
it
not going to
because
be able to
Wes
afford
got on
it
the
and
intercom
be able to
the
watch it for free on
maintenance and had
YouTube.
this- I wish I could remember what he was saying.
Yeah, I know. So
And
I
then-
don't think they get
and
that because
then-
people think like, who can
And then at one
afford that?
point,
Yeah. A lot of
through the
people.
doors to
I
the
can't.
LA Fire Department,
I know.
Wes said, would you just at least give us
Well, you
an
don't want those
update? Are you
people
making
anyway-
progress?
watching
And the
anyway.
guy was like, sir, we're doing what we can to get you out of there when we can get you out of there.
I know,
And,
right? It's a good way to protect you from the
and he
heathens.
kind of gave Wes a bit
You know,
of
the
a
real
brushback
heathens have more
pitch,
money.
which Wes took in good
Right, the poor
stride. But
people
Wes was,
can't hurt you. They'll
James
up
L.
your
Brooks
ratings,
at the
though.
beginning was very quiet, and I thought, gosh, I hope
think they're
he's
catching
not
on to that, thank God.
claustrophobic. And then he got very
Many
funny.
already had. Many got it
Started
from the
filming
get-go,
it.
and they've been doing
I
it all
was-
along.
I felt like I was getting kind of a little more,
They're getting
starting
low
to think, getting a little more concerned as the time went on.
I
And it was airless. To feel that airless feeling where you get that sheen of sweat on you. And then, just thinking, and when you look through the little,
Is this it?
when you could get the door open, it was a metal bars are great. It wasn't just an open floor where you just thought, okay, if they pry these open, we can at least jump out or crawl out. And then
You're
the
still in
other
a
side,
cage.
the other side was this thick, museum glass.
I had a stuck elevator story if you want to hear that.
Would love to.
My wife and
I wonder
I
if
and
that's for
Arnold
free on YouTube.
Schwarzenegger
I'd
are
watch
in an
that.
elevator.
I haven't seen that.
In
Hey, it's not a
Sacramento.
competition.
Yeah,
I know.
It stops.
I think I only saw it
and
once, right after it
everybody's
first
kind of
came
quiet.
out.
It just stops, and we're just sort of waiting, and then it lurches a little bit, and then Arnold, 2 minutes of silence, just goes, "Yeah, now it's getting interesting,"
It was such a good
But
movie,
he was like the
especially for
Terminator.
the
He's
time,
like, "Don't worry, I know how to do things in these situations. They're going to come in a minute now, but this is a very interesting situation. The elevator is supposed to go up, and the doors are supposed to open, but we're stuck in the darkness." I go, "Thanks for explaining that whole thing, Arnold. No problem. Let me light a cigar, and I'll tell you more.
You don't mind if I smoke?
But most of that story was true until I went off on a flight of fancy. But yeah, this is getting very interesting. He was very cool.
I will say that the LA Fire Department was great. They got us out of there. They were very cool customers. So thanks to those
moseyed
guys.
on over there.
That's
I would
how
say
looked.
it would be less scary,
It
Luke.
wasn't like backdraft. I'll put it like that. They weren't charging up the stairs.
I love
Kind of what you hope
backdraft.
for. It's a little more kind of
Check that door for
Clint
heat.
Eastwood kind of walk.
Yeah.
Buying furniture for your business can be full of compromises, confusing choices, and little support. National Business Furniture is here to change all that. We believe every business deserves furniture that lasts, service that cares, and a partner who gets it, at a budget that works. At National Business Furniture, that's our commitment to you. Experience the better way to buy office furniture. Visit nbf.com and use promo code POD10 to save 10% now.
Look, David, there's some things in life you just want to keep private.
yeah.
Like your browser history, right? You don't want everyone, or a questionable swimsuit choice, FYI. But when it comes to your phone bill, total transparency is everything. And I got to be honest, that's why I really do. I love Mint Mobile.
Yeah, listen, if anything ever happens to me, please drive to my house and burn my laptop. They looked at
Again?
these guys at Mint Mobile. They looked at everything wrong with the wireless industry, and they actually fixed it. They
That's right.
offering premium wireless.
Isn't that
for just
weird when you
$15
hear
a
people
month.
see that? I know because
You
so
get
many
the
of us like
blazing
don't care
fast
at all.
data. You get unlimited talk and text on
I
the
know,
nation's
it's
largest
weird.
5G network
I know.
without any hidden gotchas.
I'm not worried about
As
it.
they usually have. It's incredibly easy to switch. Keep your
That's
current
right.
phone. You can have your same phone number. Mine's bad, by the way. I would change it. And then
I hate
choose a
mine.
3, 6, or 12-month plan to
Well,
completely
the ghost,
say goodbye.
the ghost histories
annoying
are what
ones
they
that
should
don't.
be marking.
You know, it is time to ditch.
Yeah, I think that happened
those
back to what's his
overpriced
name? Remember the
carriers.
dude
Come
from
on,
The Who?
people. To get your new wireless plan for just
Yeah, that whole story.
$15 a month. Is anything $15 a
Nothing.
month anymore? Nothing. Go to mintmobile.com/flywall. That's mintmobile.com/flywall. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at
Yeah, it was,
mintmobile.com/flywall. That's it.
Pete
There's no
Townsend.
catch, right, David?
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent, taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 GB may be slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 GB hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. You just go to mintmobile.com. All your answers are
Yeah.
there.
That's mints. They're not just for after dinner.
So it wasn't like an IP address hoax with Pete Townsend. No, but that stuff you got to be careful of too. I know when you hear people say it's stuff like, I don't want someone looking at my browser history, or you don't want anybody, remote viewing you, really, right? Well, I mean, that happens. There's a lot of security and surveillance. Yeah, I mean, nobody really cares if you're whacking off to whatever or looking up how to get rid of a boil on your ass. Nobody cares. But yeah, the IP address hoaxes and the tracking systems. Yeah, so that was back in 2002 and 2003. That stuff amped up shortly. Yeah, remember 9/11 and all that stuff going on with the drug trafficking lines and businesses, and so it was one of the scams that these groups and lines are highly connected to. It's pretty scary. So what happened with Pete Townsend was his credit card details were tracked to child abuse images to a website during the 2002 and 2003 UK police inquiry known as Operation Or. Why don't too many people talk about this? It's kind of a big deal. It's only teenage wasteland. I don't know, man. January 2003, guitar player Pete Townsend of the rock band The Who had his home computer seized after the FBI and UK authorities traced a credit card payment to a Texas-based network linked to child sexual abuse material. The clearing, following a 4-month investigation, London's Metropolitan Police formally cleared Townsend of downloading and possessing any illegal child abuse images on his computers. The caution, Townsend admitted to using his credit card to access the site on one occasion in 1999. He stated he did so as vigilante research for an anti-pornography campaign and for his autobiography after believing he was abused as a child. Police accepted his motives, had no nefarious purpose, but stated that research is not a legal defense. He accepted official police caution and was placed on the UK National Sex Offenders Register for 5 years. Operation OR involved thousands of suspects internationally whose financial data appeared on subscription lists. Flaws and false accusations. Subsequent investigations into Operation OR revealed that many subscriber databases such as the Landslide, Kazikius, Keys Sex Place, Kasexy Place. There we go. Kasexy Place. KEYZEXYPLACE site were heavily compromised by credit card fraud, identity theft, and hacking. Independent reports and media analysis highlighted that thousands of individuals caught in the sweep were victims of stolen data rather than active participants, though Townsend found himself openly acknowledged that he had deliberately logged on and used his own credit card. Right, so a lot of people were cleared because there were people hacking, theft and hacking the identities and making it look like it was being tracked and traced. Right, exactly. So a lot of them, yeah, but because he admitted to using his credit card on the site as a vigilante, he got the 5-year list thing. Right, so I mean, when you think about these hacking groups and different things, and when you understand and you look at the time frames and things we're talking about, I really hope people here, especially Central Maine News people and others, are realizing what we're saying is true, and these children need help, and they need to be taken out of the custody of these sick motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now, my 2 youngest children have been tortured and abused for years by these sick fucks, and they tried to kill me, and it's okay. Yeah, you go ahead, unless you're talking to me personally, as opposed to listening to the fucking bullshit rhetoric of these fucking psychos around here who like to call ghost hunters and ignore facts and reality. You go right ahead and do that, and you're gonna find yourself in a fucking psychosis rabbit hole right along with them. They're fucking gone, dude. They're psychotic, nasty, fucking pill-popping, alcoholic motherfucking pieces of shit. And the proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine, need to do what they can to bring awareness and understanding as to how it's already happened and how they got away with it and how the child and animal pornography has been being fed out. Okay, news people? We want to get another protest or rally going to show everyone how stupid and retarded people are, which we already know. Yeah, we've been dealing with them for years. Where have you been?
And they go, oh, okay.
Hiding. Hiding in your fucking bubbles, and then when you see the real world, and it's a big fucking show and mockery of the fucking psychos.
Steve Morton had that great line where he said, "You're
I know,
out of the
right?
business for
Yeah,
5
they're putting
years
it
before
together.
you know it."
No one gave you the memo. Yeah. Do they mention your brother to you a lot? Try to contrast and compare or anything like that?
Oh yeah, they always get, and of course now we both have golf shows, so bring that up. But
more
yeah,
stuff
people.
for the
That's another
present,
thing. People always want to kind of they're like, "Are you guys competitive?" And we can say, "No, you. It's kind of like we're on the same team where you want the other person to do well. And you know, we're not the Everly Brothers. We're not feuding. We actually get along very well.
Just very well, and we are in the business firmly and doing work. And
he looks a little like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman here, right now.
Dickie Gear in Pretty
Look like
Woman.
Richard Gere in Pretty Woman right now.
With Jules Roberts.
With no gray hair, like younger than that, like early, like
Yeah.
Officer and a Gentleman. I don't know why I just saw that.
There's another great actor, kind of unsung great actor.
Where's he
When you think
been?
about-
Hilarious.
Richard Gere? Richard Gere?
No, he is a stud. Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about, Richard?
He was
yeah.
great.
He is fantastic. Unbelievable.
Officer and a Gentleman on top of everything else.
What's your go-to? I'm always so curious about movies that you love. Just random. You don't have to say your best or whatever, but movies that you would watch another time, maybe, or something like that. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Any favorite?
I'll throw out The Godfather just to start it.
Oh, for sure, The Godfather. The great thing about that is it's always on. But I do love Chinatown, and that is one of those ones where I feel like I still don't understand everything about it, which is great.
I should watch Chinatown.
And like
Jack,
you know, I think
Faye Dunaway or
Thief
fucking
with
Pete
James
Hotness.
Caan.
James
Caan.
Caan.
Thief I wrote down too. Thief is supposed to get. What about the redoing Heat?
I know, I saw that, but I think what they're doing with Heat was Michael Mann wrote a book, which is not a precursor, whatever that word is, but I believe that's what they're doing. So it's like Val Kilmer's character when he was younger, the De Niro character, and I read the book. It is great.
The greatest thing about Heat was I think that when Pacino went full sudden scream, that was, what are you gonna do? You're gonna make a move? I can't even.
Was that in Kate Mandelini?
But it was so brilliant, you know.
No, that was Kate Mandelini. Yeah, that was that showdown between De Niro.
Was it the only scene De Niro and Pacino were together?
Yeah. Did you guys used to go to Kate Mandelini?
Oh,
I used to go there all the time.
I'm so mad it's over with because
I know
no one did anything with it.
No.
Doheny. Right across from Dana's manager's building. I'm gonna lunch there for us. I'll pay.
I have a manager.
Turbans.
What about you guys? What are a few of your guys' favorite movies that you can watch repeatedly?
Yeah. I love Soylent Green. I watched that recently.
That's one I don't know that I've ever seen. I know
Edward G. Robinson. I like science fiction, Yeah, I mean, as far as, and Edward G. Robinson is so brilliant in that, and Charlton Heston. I love Planet of the Apes, I love 2000.
I was just gonna look that up.
Redford in the 70s,
That would be
some people
awesome.
don't like it, but I look at 3 Days of the Condor.
But I'm totally fine. I'm not gonna be disappointed or let it get me down.
I mean, his run in there all the way to The Natural, and then The Horse Whisperer, whatever.
But yeah, that would be cool if it's on here for free.
His charisma, especially 3 Days of the Condor with Faye Dunaway, one of the greatest acting moments when she says goodbye to him at the subway station, and he goes, "Just don't call it. I just need 5 minutes." And the hurt on her face is like as good as it gets. It's like Jane Fonda and the China Syndrome.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy her a rental.
I think, Silk was one of those ones I've tried to find it to watch. It's not on Amazon. I can't find it on YouTube.
It is a funny one. It's really funny.
That's a great one.
So good. I like those
I thought it
big stars. And I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love some Tarantino.
Ashman Gold said 1 year ago, made a video that said Idiocracy is not a comedy. It's a documentary.
I'm a goddamn henchman. Don't cry in front of the Mexican. What'd that guy say to you? I think there's a lot worse things than going to Italy and make Italian westerns. Goddamn, I'm telling what's how many you seen? 1, 2. Let's face it, I haven't been a stunt man in a long time, and I like hanging out at your hacienda when you're out of town. I'm Brad Pitt, and there's no one cooler, so fucking cut it, Quentin. No, I memorized the whole movie. I saw it 11
Everything
times.
Idiocracy predicted that came true.
I love movies.
Check that
That
one
was
out.
definitely
Oh, there's a bunch on it. Holy smokes.
which I've not done in a long time.
Yeah.
You have to see it
I
a lot.
love
Wow, yeah, there's a lot of people
That's
who
one
did
that does have a lot of gold in it.
Yeah, they got a lot of views too.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
smokes.
magic. One thing I was so curious because you said a few minutes ago, like if you have 9 months off, what do you do? Are you a painter? Are you an athlete? Are you, what are you doing with your time off? What's your hobbies? What's your views?
I have all of these things you mentioned.
Gonna make some dirty rice.
I'm an athlete. So,
Are you? Okay.
I snorkel, I sail.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a
Yes, you're
Renaissance
welcome.
man.